Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day, it's a brand new week, and the last day of January 2022. Can you believe it? We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Monday. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. In today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with actor and producer Jon Huertas that many people are watching right now on the hit show on NBC, This Is Us. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In national news, U.S. pledges to put Russia on defensive at UN Security Council. The United States worked Sunday to ramp up diplomatic and financial pressure on Russia over Ukraine, promising to put Moscow on the defensive at the UN Security Council as lawmakers on Capitol Hill said they were nearing agreement on the mother of all sanctions. The American ambassador to the United Nations said the Security Council will press Russia hard in a session today to discuss its massing of troops near Ukraine and fears it is planning an invasion. Our voices are unified in calling for the Russians to explain themselves, Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield said of the U.S. and the other council members on ABC's This Week on Sunday. We're going into the room prepared to listen to them, but we're not going to be distracted by their propaganda, she said. Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. warned that Russian President Vladimir Putin is bent on waging an attack on democracy, not just on a single country. It's a case that some senior foreign policy figures have urged President Joe Biden to make, including at the Security Council. If Ukraine will be further attacked by Russia, of course they will not stop in Ukraine, Ukraine's ambassador said on CBS's Face the Nation. Any formal action by the Security Council is extremely unlikely given Russia's veto power and its ties with others on the council, including China. But the U.S. referral of Russia's troop buildup to the United Nations' most powerful body gives both sides a stage in their fight for global opinion. Russia's massing of an estimated 100,000 troops near the border with Ukraine has brought increasingly strong warnings from the West that Moscow intends to invade. Russia is demanding that NATO promise never to allow Ukraine to join the alliance and to stop the deployment of NATO weapons near Russian borders and roll back its forces from Eastern Europe. NATO and the U.S. call those demands impossible. The head of Russia's Security Council on Sunday rejected Western warnings about an invasion. Ukraine's foreign minister countered that on Twitter, saying, if Russian officials are serious when they say they don't want a new war, Russia must continue diplomatic engagement and pull back military forces. The United States and European countries say a Russian invasion would trigger heavy sanctions. In more national news, Clyburn, architect of Biden's court pledge, pushes his pick. At President Joe Biden's lowest moment in the 2020 campaign, South Carolina Representative Jim Clyburn came to him with a suggestion. He should pledge to put the first black woman on the Supreme Court. After some cajoling, Biden made the promise at a Democratic debate, a move Clyburn credits with turning out the black support to help Biden score a resounding victory in the South Carolina primary and ultimately win the White House. 2 years later, the hope for a vacancy on the court has arrived with the retirement of Justice Stephen Breyer. Biden is standing by his pledge, and Clyburn, the highest-ranking black member of Congress, has another ask. Judge Michelle Childs has everything I think it takes to be great, Clyburn said. As the lobbying begins over filling the open court seat, Clyburn is harnessing his history with Biden and his stature as a number 3 House Democrat to make a forceful case for his preferred choice, U.S. District Judge J. Michelle Childs, a jurist from his native South Carolina. It's a campaign he's making in private and in public, helping elevate Childs to an emerging short list of black women who could soon make history. For Biden, the court opening is a chance to show black voters that he has not forgotten his promises to them, particularly after his failure this month to deliver on voting rights legislation in the Senate. He said last Thursday that having a black woman on the court is long overdue and that he would announce his choice by the end of February. In more national news, Senator Mitt Romney isolating after positive COVID-19 test. U.S. Senator Mitt Romney tested positive for COVID-19 on Friday and will be isolating and working remotely for the recommended period of time, according to a news release from his office. The Republican is fully vaccinated and boosted against COVID-19 and is not showing any symptoms, the statement said. His wife Ann tested negative for the virus. The senator's office provided no additional information. In entertainment news, Howard Hessman, star of WKRP in Cincinnati, dies at age 81. Howard Hessman, who played the radio disc jockey Dr. Johnny Fever on the sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati, and the actor-turned-history teacher Charlie Moore on Head of the Class, has died. Hessman died Saturday in Los Angeles due to complications from colon surgery, his manager Robbie Cass said on Sunday. And finally, in more entertainment news, VoxOfficePro.com says Spider-Man No Way Home crosses $1 billion overseas, first since 2019's Lion King. Over a weekend with no new wide releases, Spider-Man No Way Home easily retained the #1 spot at the North American box office with an estimated $11 million, down just 21% from last weekend. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, take it away.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Promises must be kept. A promise made must be kept because your word is your bond. People who keep their promises are regarded as people of integrity. People who do not keep their promises are regarded as people who cannot be taken seriously. Promises not kept lead to disappointment and distrust. Even promises made to yourself must be remembered and kept, or your self-esteem will suffer. Promises made to children are especially essential to keep. The child is counting on you to keep your word. A terrible feeling of not being good enough is processed by the child when you break your promise. The child thinks they are not worth you keeping your word to them. Something else is much more important. If you cannot possibly keep a promise, go to the other person or to the child, explain why as you ask forgiveness, and make alternate plans to keep your promise or please all people concerned. Today, make sure you keep all your promises, and be sure to enjoy the day.
Jon Huertas is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Actor and producer Jon Huertas joined me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his acting success and the success of the show This Is Us, that is in its final season right now. Here's a bit of our conversation.
What has it been like for you, Jon, as you kind of reflect on this journey as an actor and what you've been able to accomplish?
You know, it's humbling, really, because you grow up with this dream of being an actor, being a working actor, and where I didn't grow up in Los Angeles, and it just seems unattainable. So it's really humbling, and I'm in awe of even being able to have a career, especially now that I've taken it behind the camera and sort of directing and producing, and you dream about it, but you don't think that dream is ever going to come true. And but with the hard work and just never quit attitude, anything is possible. So I hope that whatever my journey has been, that it can inspire anybody else with any other kind of dream for any other type of career or just life, that people can believe that they can do what they want.
I watched an interview you did back in 2018 with The Hollywood Reporter, and you said about This Is Us that it was the best pilot you have ever watched. And now you've been able to be a part of this show as it is now into its final season. What has that been like for you to see the way that the audience have really taken to the show and saw exactly what you did in it?
It's for me. I like to figure things out, and so I'll take things apart and put them back together just to know how they work. And I feel like when we got going along in production over 2-3 seasons, I spent that time figuring out what it is I loved about how they did this pilot, and I really now I think understand why the audience kind of loves our show and why they feel like they can see a piece of their life in almost every episode.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. Prepare to get on tomorrow's more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host Cyrus Webb saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.